Hi, and welcome to my Saturday stream and scream of Danganronpa.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
Good, you should look upset.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that brain-fat, lazy, worthless goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
J'accuse!
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Rude.
Sorry.
Oh, he actually apologized.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
Aww.
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said? We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
she let out a blood-curdling scream.
Blood curdling.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Maybe she'll get boiled alive as like a Celeste tea. Ooh, either that or she needs to have like a really gothic, like a gothic kind of execution, like an Iron Maiden or something, you know?
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Because that's what he does. He takes the things that you love and he turns it against you, right? Or maybe she'll have her ribs crushed by like oh gosh, what's it called? I'm blanking out now. You know, you use it. Oh god, I have a couple of them. What the fuck are they called? You use it like across your chest and it like laces up in the back. Corset. Maybe they'll put her in a corset and they'll like crush her in it so she dies and suffocates. Yeah, corset. Crazy. No, I really do not want to see her get killed by a pair of pain things. No, pass on that.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Lay flashback.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead, Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Yep. So surprising.
You were
Do you
with
not
Celeste
hear the
when
surprise
Hifumi's
in
body
my
disappeared,
voice?
right?
The only thing I can't figure out is the motivations.
Yeah?
And so help
I
me
was
if it
feeling
turns
kinda
out to be
sick,
that
so
money,
Celeste took me to the
I'm gonna be
bathroom.
so disappointed.
Wait, then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Oh god. Not the denial ones. I hate the denial
Don't bother
ones.
trying to deny it.
Please, not the denial ones. You know, you guys could.
Fatal mistake.
Who are you pointing at? She's to your immediate left, dude.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed, so Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the 4 of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You
She
hear
didn't know
that,
there was a
Celeste?
second
Everyone's
body.
having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Ah, crap. Monokuma file number 3. What?
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
What? Okay, I guess that's not. Oh, so I'm supposed to grab So Strange and shoot those guys. Okay, my bad.
All I said was...
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be... We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like...
No!
Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
You know, she could have been talking about the fact of all of your previous classmates who died, but for the case of this, let's not argue.
And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. so there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste?
Yeah, Celeste.
How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Those guys doesn't necessarily mean they're both guys, though. I say those guys all the time, including girls in that grouping. But okay, let's argue semantics. Oh gosh. Alright, there she goes. She's tipped it.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know
Vivid.
that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
Can't it just be the empty
No.
suit being
There is
posed? Yes, Hifumi and the suspect had been drinking. Hifumi and the suspect are dancing. Oh, nice.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
Yay, finally a little bit of panic on her face.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Aww. Poor Hiro.
Such a thing.
Sorry, just adjusting my mic.
It's utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Wow, rude. Yay! More confusing controls. At least now I know what the controls are, so yay.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Yep, come
You
on.
dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi. You tried to make me look like the bad.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfect. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up.
No, that's wrong. No, Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
That suit is really
Because
strong.
that Robo
Totally
Justice
not
suit
made
had
out
a
of
certain
plastic and
characteristic.
wouldn't at all collapse under the weight of a human body. And I'm sure other cosplayers who totally didn't have certain design flaws in their outfit like that haven't met similar cracking the crap out of their chest plate fates.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
So cocky. Ooh. Look at that reaction.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Yes. Ying, 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 ying.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Uh-oh, not the denial. Just accept your fate. Please accept your fate. I don't want to have to do the denial thing. Ah, crap. She's gonna deny. She's gonna deny. I'm getting dizzy. Spin, spin. Take your Celeste and spin, spin, spin.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot!
Whoa!
What do you mean, checkmate?
Ooh.
Celeste? Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
That high pitch. What the fuck? She's not on fast forward.
And I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Ooh.
Right, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Burn you alive. Ooh, that'd be a fitting death for her too. Burnt
What do you mean by
alive.
that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example.
So cocky.
So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say?
Yeah, he's calling you out.
To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit!
Woo. She probably laugh.
On! on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up!
God, this fucking voice.
My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Alright, I guess we're gonna have to whip out our handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me...
No, that's wrong. That's it. The
Welcome back.
handbook.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
Please don't flash back to they're doing this so much, eventually Makoto's gonna have to get in the habit of going, believe it, at the end of all of his statements. Databayo.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Please, tell us. Please don't make me go through the denial minigame. Please, Celeste. Please. I'm
Even
begging
when
you.
I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because
of the wonderful lies she does. Do.
You never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Yay! We get to do that thing where we put all the pictures together. Okay. What was the button you said that I had to push? You said there was a button I had to push to get, like, plotty stuff. Nope, not that one. Over the question mark. Ah, gotcha. Thank you. What is this supposed to be a picture of? It just... Alright, fuck it. Who was it the killer summoned first? Oompa-doompa-doompa. It's the only way, right? Yeah. Wait, no. 4 was the one that killed him. In the library, Hifumi used something to fake the existence of a shadowy criminal. No, wait, it was Justice Hammer 2, wasn't it? Crap. Knocked him out. I thought it would be the hammer that wouldn't kill, but I guess maybe they just used his own little thing. I don't know. Fuck it. And then he used Justice Hammer 2 to pretend that it was attacked, and then Justice Hammer 3 was in here. Fumi used something to move the tarp. There we go. The weapon the killer used to murder Hifumi was the unmarked hammer. There we go. Alright, let's give it a shot.
Exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
They never gave us any evidence what they used to knock him out. So, I mean...
The killer was able to execute a number
any
of
guess is
otherwise
as good as any
impossible
other on
schemes.
that. So I figured, fuck it. Maybe they knocked him. Maybe he had his crystal ball with him and they knocked him out with it.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. They drugged him, not...
Alright, well, they said they drugged him, but I don't have a picture of anything drugging. Unless they're talking about taking the pictures? I thought they were trying to say what they used. Just because the crystal ball was shattered in the first case doesn't mean that he doesn't have other crystal balls. But I understand your reasoning.
The killer is... you! They drugged him, knocked him out.
I misunderstood what they were looking
Next,
for.
Hifumi positioned himself to make it look
I
like
thought they were
Robo
asking for
Justice
what they
was
knocked him
attacking
out with.
While the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured. With these two incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator, and Justice Hammer 3...
I like the very ballerina-esque way that he spread blood around.
And turned the room into a crime scene, in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act.
What I don't understand is why did Hifumi move the
Their
body
plan
at all?
all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository.
What was the purpose of moving the body to begin with?
That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
That image.
Celeste. Sorry, you lose.
Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me that thumbs up if you did. And subscribe if you want more content. Thanks again, guys. Alright. Bye, bye, bye. What did you do to me?
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body? Oh my.